Are you tired of buying plants just to have them die after you plant them in the ground? Or are you just getting started with gardening and you're not even really sure what to do? Well, today I'm going to show you how you can plant your plants in such a way that you'll be confident not only will they survive, they'll thrive. Now, in order to get your plants in the ground, you really only need three things: a shovel, a bucket or a tarp, and some way to water your plants after you're done planting them. Watering is also a really good way to get your kids involved in your garden, especially if they're smaller and they want to help, but when it comes to digging and planting, they're not really that helpful. Now, those are all you really need to have. Some helpful tools to have in addition, though, is a pair of gloves and a trowel. Now, if you're planting a lot of smaller plants, something that can be really helpful is a drill bit auger and a drill that accepts that auger. And those are all the tools that you'll need in order to get your plants into the ground successfully.
We're going to begin with my favorite technique, which uses the drill bit auger and the drill. Now, it's my favorite because it's the fastest and easiest way to create a lot of holes if you're doing a lot of planting. With that said, you don't need a drill bit auger and a drill in order to get your plants in the ground successfully. I'm going to show you how to do a shovel next. Feel free to skip ahead. The most important thing to keep in mind as you're using the drill bit auger is to not go deeper than the pot that the plant is currently in. If you accidentally over drill, it's fine. Just start putting dirt back into the hole until it gets to the level of the pot. After you've created your hole, we're going to get the plant out of the pot, and you don't want to just pull up when you do that. Instead, what we want to do is turn it over and press the sides of the pot in until the plant falls out. Sometimes you have to kind of whack the bottom in order to make it happen, but oftentimes it'll just slip right out. After we've got the plant out of the pot, you're going to start pulling off the corners and kind of teasing the roots out of the pot shape. That way they begin growing out into the surrounding dirt. After you've got those roots loose, we'll go ahead and put the plant in the ground, and we'll begin firming the dirt all around it. We want to get good, firm contact between the roots and the surrounding soil. After we've finished firming that soil and kind of replacing the mulch over the top, all it's left to do is to give this plant a good water. And once we've done that, we have successfully put a plant in the ground, and we can be confident that it's going to grow well.
Now, if your pot is too big for the auger method, then all is not lost. We just have to use a shovel. It's a little more effort, but nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. So the first thing to do, I like to get the shovel in the ground where I've got my pot, and then I will remove the pot from there. I also like to keep a bucket nearby to put all the extra dirt in. Not only is it a little bit cleaner, but it also, I find that if I just dump dirt in the grass or whatever, it just kind of tends to disappear on me. So this way I can keep all the dirt and make sure I don't run out. So you just apply even pressure, press down with your foot, wiggle it around, use your body weight to get the shovel in the ground. Don't try to muscle it in. You'll be tired long before you get done planting. So just like with the auger, you want to dig down as deep as the pot. You don't want to go any deeper. That looks to be about good. Then you finish out much in the same way as the other plants. So we don't pull the plant out by the head. We flip it over. Squeeze the sides until the pot releases. Sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate, and that's okay. You just keep going till it does. Then we take all these roots and we just start teasing them out. And we want the roots to realize they're no longer in a pot. That. Don't be afraid if you break some, they'll regrow, but also don't be too rough. Place the plant in, and then just start refilling with all the dirt removed. And this is why I like to use a bucket, because I can just pick it up and do it this way. Press around the outside with our hands, clean up the path. And there we go. we have another plant that we can be confident will grow well. Now we're going to finish up today with a shrub. Now, shrubs and trees, when it comes to the hole in the ground, are handled very similarly. Kind of the one main difference is with a tree, you'll want to use tree stakes to help it withstand the wind. You don't really have to do that with shrubs, but otherwise you handle them the exact same way. So with trees and shrubs, you want to be very careful not to dig any deeper than the pot. Really, if anything, you want this shrub standing up a little bit from the surrounding soil. But you do want to dig a much wider hole than your pot. I'd say at least twice as wide. I'm going to go kind of way out here, so it's going to be about 3 times as wide. The reason for that is those shrub and tree roots, kind of when they first start, they go out and they really don't enjoy resistance from compacted soil. So by digging that hole wider, you're going to help give them an advantage so that they can get settled and we can kind of reduce the transplant shock as best we can. It's always going to be a little bit when you plant larger trees and shrubs, but we're going to do everything we can to help it along the way. So, much like before, I like to start my hole before I move the pot, just so I know exactly where it is. And again, just like before, let your body weight do the work. We've got a lot of planting to do. We don't want to be exhausted the whole time. Now, this area is going to be a little bit of a challenge, simply because I know for a fact there is weed fabric under here. And if you don't know my feelings on weed fabric under wood mulch, feel free to check out my video that I'll link to above. But long story short, not a fan. Once you think you're there, grab your pot and check. All right, so we are basically there. We're actually a little bit high. But again, once I kind of clean out this bottom, I'd rather be high than low. Now, very similar to the other plants, we don't want to just pull this out of the pot. We do have a little more ability to do that since this is a, hardy stem plant. But still, we would rather not. Just kind of pound around the outside to try to loosen the pot from the plant. And then kind of tip it on the side. Let's pull the whole thing out. Again, we want to kind of loosen these roots along the outside. We want to be a little more gentle with these than we do with, say, like a perennial plant. But we do still want to take the time to loosen them. Again, just help these roots recognize they're no longer in a pot and start working their way out. So what we want to do before we get this totally put in the ground is we want to ensure that our favorite side is facing out. That's not really something you have to worry about with perennials. But with trees and shrubs, make a huge difference. Again, just take the time. Make sure you like the side you see. And then we've got our plant. So as you're putting that soil back, you'll want 1/3 to be compost, 2/3 to be the native soil that you removed when you dug out that hole. So what I like to do, put a couple shovelfuls right there in the bottom, put in the compost, and get just a couple more shovelfuls right on top. And just work my shovel through. Just try to mix everything as best I can. Don't need to get too crazy. We're going to mix it here on the ground as well. And just like we did with the plants, we want to be sure that we firm the ground down with our hands. But with that, we've got our shrub in the ground and we can be confident that it's going to grow well. And there you have it. With those simple tips and tricks, you can go out and start planting plants in your own garden, confident that not only will they survive, but they will thrive. Hey, if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. In addition, I've got a full guide available on my website that goes through the design and installation of your own garden. You can download that at the link down in the description below.